This week's question is magic. How much does it figure into my personal path? How much of my path is magic? And how much is religion? And how do the two relate? Well, I've thought about it all week, and I've watched the other hosts of Pagan Perspective give their perspective on magic, and I've changed my mind at least 2 or 3 times. I think actually magic and my religion are hopelessly interwoven, and it's really hard to tell sometimes where one starts and the other stops, but there are definitely the two aspects of my path, the magic and the religion. Now, by magic I assume that the questioner meant spellcraft, acts of magic. Spellcraft isn't limited just to pagan religions or to Wicca. When I first moved to Texas, I noticed that a lot of the Hispanic people were buying candles and herbs and incense and oils and lots of other stuff that I wasn't really familiar with, and I asked one of my pagan friends, what do they do with that? And the answer was, well, the same thing we would do with it. They do magic. Brujeria is not so much a religion as a system of Mexican folk magic. And most brujas and brujos are devout Catholics, and so they use a magical system with their religion. When I taught school in southeast Arkansas, there were a couple of people in town that practiced a variety of hoodoo or root work, and they were both feared and respected when their services were needed. And they were Baptist. My grandfather's grandmother was no doubt Church of Christ, but she was also a mountain herb woman, and she would go out into the woods and collect herbs and brew up various medicinal concoctions. My real regret about her is that she apparently never passed any of her knowledge on to anybody, so I really have no idea of the details of what she actually did. My wife's mother, my mother-in-law, was an agnostic, but she also practiced a lot of folk magic around the house. So spell work or that sort of magic is not limited to paganism, and I suppose there are those pagans who don't use any magic or spell work at all. I kind of find that hard to believe, because all of the fiction, both books, TV, and movies, whether we're talking The Craft, Practical Magic, or my favorite, Harry Potter, it's all spell work. There is no religion. It's just casting spells. And I want to know, when am I going to learn how to do a fireball throwing spell? I mean, how handy would that be sometimes? Well, religion. I think that religion, at least for me, is more than just the mythology. It's more than just the rituals that have specifically to do with worshiping the gods. My religion is also my ethics and the way I live my daily life, trying to live as close to the earth as I can in a major city, trying to leave as small a carbon footprint as possible, though this year I've had to drive some 80 miles a day to go to work. Well, one has to go to work. But I recycle, I use solar and wind electricity for my house, I compost, I do organic gardening, I do a catch and release neuter program for the feral cats in the neighborhood. These to me are part of my religion. They're acts of worship. Now, a couple of the people on Pagan Perspective this week have talked about a slightly different meaning of the word magic. when we talk about the magic of dandelions, the magic of a sunrise, the magic of the full moon, the magic of a child's laughter. These are things in the natural world and in our human community that inspire, or at least should inspire, a sense of wonder. They should make you smile. And that part of magic, that sort of magic, is also part of my path. And I would hope it would be part of every pagan's path, that we have that sense of childlike wonder about things. And we notice things. We don't just rush through life. We don't just treat the world, nature, the universe, and our fellow humans as objects to be used. So for me, religion and magic are intertwined, interwoven. They're hopelessly tangled together. And every day I practice my religion and I do magic. Though I may not actually cast a formal spell, my magic act may be grounding, centering, shielding, maybe asking for guidance, maybe doing some divination with the pendulum or tarot card. So until next week, this is Dancing Rabbit, wishing you happy magic.